Broadcasting worldwide to every nation, this is the Gospel America Television Network. Broadcasting to every nation on Roku, Fire TV, Apple TV, and online at gospelamerica.net.
And I think what we're seeing in our days, one of the lies that the Christian has bought into from the enemy is that you can do this Christian walk by yourself. That you don't need to be with the brothers and sisters. You don't need to have that accountability. You don't need to have that encouragement, that fellowship. But if you notice, and I believe it's in Luke chapter 10. You can turn there real quick. Yeah, Luke chapter 10, where he sends forth the laborers. Verse 1.
Yeah.
After these things, the Lord appointed other 70 also, and sent them out 2 by 2, before his face into every city and place, whither he himself would come. So you're seeing, look, he's not sending them out. All right, Paul, you go by yourself over here to Macedonia. You, Peter, you go over here and preach to the Jews. No, he was sending them out 2 by 2 because we have to understand. We have to take on the mindset like we're in a war.
Yeah.
So if you were, God forbid, but say you were a gang member in the hood, you wouldn't go down the street by yourself, right? You're going to have your homeboys with you. You're going to make sure that you're ready for whatever might come across. Well, we have to take that same mentality, but put it with this righteous approach. Like, we're in a war, and the enemy, any chance he has, he's going to devour us, right? So we have to be ready to walk with God. We have to come together, the assembly. We have to experience the power of God. And this is something we weren't meant to do on our own.
Yes, sir.
And that's that point, too. Also, when you're isolated, that's when the enemy takes his opportunity to basically cut you down. When there is no support system and you're not already feeding yourself, that's a perfect opportunity for him to come in and devour you. And you're just like, as in the Bible, we're seeing a sheep. Well, a sheep doesn't have much defense mode at all. The only defense he has is the shepherd. And so when the wolf comes to get the sheep's kind of a delicate, dumb animal.
Yeah.
And so he can't fight anything off unless he's with the shepherd. And that's why it's so important to have the shepherd and putting his word inside of you. Because without him,
we don't stand a chance.
Yeah, we're snacks, ready for the wolf to come get us.
You're hearing a lot that, and this is a big thing in today with our culture as well. I even had, there's people I know who even said that God told me to not assemble for a time, and I know that's not God. If anything, God's going to tell you, you know what, sit until I tell you to move. He's not going to tell you to forsake, as you mentioned in the beginning. The one thing He calls the bride.
Amen.
You know what? He's going to tell you, you know what, sit until I tell you to move, and. Or he's going to lead you somewhere where truth is, you know what, go here for a season, But to leave you by yourself, you're the church by yourself. You know what, just stay at home for a little bit. Let me talk with, no, he's not going to do that.
It'll never happen. No.
Why is he going to pull you out from the one thing that Christ established, when he pointed to Mount Hermon, upon this rock I will build my church, and the gates of hell will not prevail. Why is he going to pull you out from the one thing he established, the one thing he loves, the one thing he calls his bride?
Yeah.
Amen?
I believe totally what we're seeing, though, is the beginning of what it says, the falling away. People, they don't want to hear truth anymore.
Yeah.
And we not just even in the church. I mean, we see that all throughout society. It doesn't matter what it is, right? They're going to be divided against you. If you're bringing truth, they're going to hate you. They're going to call you a bigot, a racist, a liar, whatever it may be. And it's no different. The same ideology has crept into the church. And the only way we're going to get back to the truth is getting back in the Word. We got to stop listening to all these preachers. We got to stop getting our sermons from YouTube.
Yeah.
We have to get in the church, with the body, sitting under a man of God who knows the Word of God.
Well, that's also the other thing is we've allowed the world to come into the church.
Yeah.
We're trying to look more seeker friendly. let's be honest, when you have ministers and pastors speaking truth, it's not a popular message. Mm-hmm. First of all, it's not a very easy message for the person who's giving it. And then on top of that, most people don't want to receive that. And so, therefore, you're not going to have a lot of churches that are going to be filled with a lot of people who are going to want to receive those messages. So instead of continue to teach truth, you sacrifice the message so that you can have people come into the church. Well, now that's American Christianity now. Yeah. That's the whole thing. And so now you have a small group of people who are actually speaking truth, and people are like, no, that's not the true gospel. That gospel is that's hateful, or that's too honest, or whatever the case may be. And then you have this American Christianity where it's soft and it's more welcoming. Yeah. And so you mix all that up with everything that's going on in the world now. I mean, you could turn the television on, look at the stuff that happens on the news. It's almost like it's unreal. And I think we have started to see where we have been given to our own ways.
That's what you see too. Excuse me, what you don't see with the early church in the book of Acts, you don't see them inviting the world into the church. Yeah. They would get together, they would pray, they would worship, they would read the word, and then they would go out into the world and make disciples. We got to stop catering to this world. This world's not for God. This world's at enmity with God. It hates God. It hates the God we worship. So we got to stop catering to him. Who cares if the world doesn't like the music we see? And it's not for them anyways.
Yeah, exactly.
It's for God. Everything we do as the church, as the body, is for God, for the glory of God.
Yep, exactly. And here's the thing. Christianity shouldn't be attractive. Yeah. Jesus said, you know what? It's going to cost you. It's going to cost you to follow me. Mm-hmm. It's going to cause you to serve me. It's going to, you need to, I've heard the passage misinterpreted many times about, the foundation that you build. It's always somehow made about us, but really what it's talking about is Jesus saying, look, you better count the cost and know what it's going to take, to get involved with me. And of course, when he presented that, many who were listening fled, and in the end he was left with his disciples, and he tells Peter, are you going to lead too? Peter says, where will we go? You hold the words of life.
That's something that it reminds you of something we've talked about quite a bit. A lot of people that do go to church, they believe that you have to go to a big church where the big numbers are at. Mm-hmm. But if you look at that, there was always a lot of people around Jesus when he was healing people, when he was casting out demons. But when he started talking about some real stuff, like, bro, you got to eat my flesh, you got to drink this blood, you got to follow me, pick up your cross daily, people started to scatter.
They're like, what?
Yeah, right.
Let the dead bury the dead, all that,
So God's not necessarily in the big numbers. Yeah, that's what I'm getting at.
And that's why he said where 2 or 3 are gathered in my name. He was making a statement. I'm not always where the crowds are. Yeah. If 2 of you, 2 or 3, you come in my name, I'm there. Mm-hmm. And here's the thing. I cannot do this, and I'll be blunt and say this honestly and truthfully. I can't do this on my own. I rely on my brothers like you guys, I rely on my co-pastor Danny, because I can't do this alone. Mm-hmm. I need to lean on you guys as well. Iron sharpens iron.
Correct.
And there's so much positively that we can take from the assembly, that we need from the assembly, is what I'm trying to say.
Amen. Well, I think leaning on what you're talking about is men being around other men, us speaking life into one another, us encouraging one another. Because let's be honest, we're in this world, and the world's tough sometimes, and we're gonna have days where we're down. We're gonna have some days where you're not feeling it. There's gonna be some days you're angry, you're upset. Those are the times that we should be. Hey, Brett, man, look, man, I'm going through something, and I need you to pray for me. Mm-hmm. Or I don't need lip service, like, yeah, bro, I'll pray for you, and it never happens. Like, no, I need y'all to be really, keep me in your prayers. Speak to me right now. Speak life, because right now I'm not feeling what's going on.
Put your hand on the screen and let me pray for you. It's not going to work.
It's not. And That's the thing too. Like it's looked at in our culture as a sign of weakness to reach out. Like, look.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But there's gonna be seasons where, like you said, you're gonna be going through some things, man. Life is gonna hit you, and I need encouragement from my pastor. I need a word from the Lord from Pastor Danny. Like, and if I'm just sitting at home isolated, you're not gonna get that.